Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Home Coffee Brewing with April. This time I'm meeting up with Sung Won Lee here in Seoul, and he has one of the more extensive collections of April brewers that I have ever seen. And it's going to show us how he's using the April plastic brewer to brew some coffee from a local roastery here in Seoul. So come with me up. Awesome. So we're on the inside here in Seoul, and it's like practically summertime. It's crazy warm, actually. That's why I'm sweating, which is fine. And we're gonna brew some coffee. And you have a pretty sweet setup of coffee stuff. First of all, it has 6, 7, 8, 9 different April brewers. Or do you have more that I don't know about?
No, 9.
9.
Precisely
Okay.
9. Yeah.
Which is quite a lot of April brewers, including like 6 different colors, which is also nice, right? Maybe we start a little bit there. You told me before we started recording, but this for the people watching as well. So why do you have 6 different like plastic brewers?
I guess it's more about design perspective.
Yep.
I like well-designed stuff. And to me, April Brewer was one of my favorite design.
Okay.
So I'm more of a collecting type of guy. So I felt like, just as time goes by, I just started collecting one by one and just
Okay.
it became like that.
Yeah. Which is, super cool, and we appreciate that as well, right? So then this question becomes really interesting, right? And maybe we're going to talk about what we're brewing and all of this as well, of course, right? But which brewer are you then going to use? Because you have the ceramic, you have the glass, you have the plastic. So how do you choose which one you use when you brew different coffees?
Oh, to me, I guess when I brew ice, because as a Korean, I drink a lot of iced coffee.
Sure. Are we doing iced coffee today? Or hot
No,
coffee?
I'm doing hot coffee.
Today we're doing hot coffee. Okay.
But mostly when I do hot coffee, I use plastic dripper.
Okay.
But when I do iced coffee, I use glass brewer.
Okay.
But ceramic, when I brew more delicate beans, I tend to lean towards ceramic brewer. I feel like.
Okay. And what is it that you feel makes the glass brewer so like better suited for ice coffee?
I feel like out of all the April brewers, I think it has the slowest drawdown time.
Yep.
So when I brew ice, I feel like
we always say it gives like a little bit more body, a little bit more sweetness, maybe also to the cup, which then I guess works really well with the ice one, right? Yeah. So which one are we using today, and what coffee are we going to use?
I'm brewing with this Korean.
I have to look because you have quite a few different coffees here.
Yeah.
So you have some Manhattan, you have some hard coffee, Tim Vanderbo, Soben Hansen. All really good stuff, actually. But you wanted to use a local coffee this time, right? Yeah. Awesome.
Korean roastery, Real Bean.
Yeah.
And it's a Kenyan coffee.
Yep. Yeah. Actually from Kamavindi, which this is a really funny coincidence because basically about the time you see this video, we're going to be launching Kamavindi because I was down in Kenya in October last year visiting Peter, the farmer.
Oh.
Kamavindi is actually one, I think, of the better Kenya estates you can find. So I'm quite excited to try another roaster's version of it. Do you know how long they've been roasting Real Bean?
Roasting date?
Like how old the company is? Or because I never actually heard about Real Bean, and I've been in Seoul quite a few times.
I have no idea how long it has been.
But they have a little coffee shop, you said, so you can go and like visit them if you want to. Where in Seoul? Where they?
It's in Gangnam, but it's
Gangnam.
a bit on the far side of Gangnam, I should say.
Sure.
It's on the edge of Seoul.
Okay, so a bit of a trip.
Yeah, a bit of a trip.
Yeah. Okay, Seoul is a big city. That's how it is. Cool. Let's get going. You do whatever you normally do, and we'll just see what happens. So you have two different water kettles. You have a Bonavista and you have a fellow kettle, right? Why have two? And two different ones, right?
So basically, when I use April to pour, I mainly use fellow only.
Okay.
But sorry.
No worries.
Today, what I'm the recipe I'm using today needs actually stronger flow rate on the last pour than usual. I feel like on the fellow, the max flow rate you can go is about 10 grams per second.
Yeah.
But Brewista has faster flow rate, I feel like.
Absolutely.
So on the last pour, I'm going to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And for those of you that don't know, fellow has we call it a restricted flow. So there's a limit to how fast you can pour, but that also gives you more control. But then Brewista, for example, Bonavida has a much faster flow, which could be very helpful then, depending on how you actually work with it, right? And I see you have a fellow scale and then a Kaya scale also. So you always have one of each kind of.
For me, I feel awkward when I use different kettle to a different scale.
Okay.
So
You want to use fellow to fellow. Okay.
That's why.
Sure. Which makes sense. So how much coffee are we going to be dosing here?
About 15 grams.
Okay. And I can see you're having EK43 sitting at home.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of people have, at least not a people that I've met. Is how come you have this standing here?
Well, I guess it's more of a Korean thing.
Okay.
EK43 in Korea is much cheaper than other herbivores.
I didn't know.
So
it's like more affordable to have at home, but it's still quite expensive.
It is quite expensive, but like it's around 2K.
Okay.
USD.
Sure.
So it is expensive, but it is in comparison much cheaper.
Yep.
So
okay, it's an investment, right? So I also saw, maybe jumping to that before, I saw this. This is where you're pouring the water from, right? Notice the logo, that's the Lotus logo.
Yeah.
Does it mean we have mixed our own water?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
With those distilled water.
Yep.
And just.
Do you have any like special recipe you're using, or
no? Just basic.
Basic.
Simple and sweet.
Simple and sweet. Okay,
yeah.
So the simple and sweet Lotus recipe on their website, and you're spraying the beans, doing a bit of shaking. Okay, I've never seen that. So this is like a little bit of a modified. But that's not is that an EK thing, or is that like another company that?
It's there's a Korean guy who 3D prints these parts. So at home it's much more convenient because it has no microfines going around.
It also looks awesome. Okay, so basically the top here and this is all custom. Okay, cool. And is that something that people can kind of order from him online, also outside of Korea?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay,
right? Like,
that might be difficult, but we'll see if we can find the link to this guy so you can see the products, because it's kind of a sweet setup. I'm going to take a smell of this. So those of you that kind of been watching us here at the channel for a while, you know that we have this conversation going about Kenyan coffees. Kenyan coffees is difficult for many different reasons. And I find that Kimavindi is kind of one of the farms where you get a lot of these kind of traditional, great kind of Kenyan flavor notes out of the coffee, which I really appreciate. Okay, so you're rinsing the water with like tap, like cold tap. Okay, is that cold or hot or
cold?
Cold. Okay, so you just went away to basically rinse the vapor filter with cold water. What's the main reason for why you're doing it cold?
I guess wetting it from the bottom and up makes it more stable, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So. Very true, actually. When you rinse the April Brewers filters, you need to pour in the center first, we always recommend kind of holding the paper filter down and then really kind of pouring in the center, let it sit, and then move around, right? Cool, you actually have the server also. You're like properly geared up, which I appreciate. Any specific reason you chose the white version now, or that was just...
What? Plastic Pour?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just because you had 6 of them here, right, and you kind of just went for that white one.
It's the newest one.
It's the newest one. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. It's actually one of my like kind of favorite versions as well. I really like it.
And also it reminds me of ceramic brewers.
Yep.
It was one of the first. I mean, the first. So
yeah,
it reminds me of that, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. So 15 gram dose. Lotus water. Simple and sweet, was it, right? And then you have 2 kettles, both similar temperature, both 93 degrees Celsius.
93.
Yeah. Okay.
92 will
Awesome.
work, I guess.
Go for it. So like a very kind of meticulous from the outside all the way in pour. 40 grams, more or less.
40 grams.
What's the main reason for 40 grams?
I think it worked best.
Yeah, sure. It tastes better.
Yeah, it tastes better.
Which is always a good argument, I think. And you let that sit for
35 seconds.
35 seconds. And then again, going from the outside in when you pour, but a bit more aggressive. And you're going up to 140. So basically a 100 gram pour, more or less. Circle pour also.
Yes.
Yep. It actually smells really Kenyan, right? Which is really nice. I'm going to cheat and see if there's... Well, I don't think I can actually read the tasting notes. No, there are no tasting notes, right? Or it's not tasting notes?
That's rose, pomegranate, cherry, puree, and peach.
Okay, that's not... So rose, cherry, peach-ish. Cool. And then final pour, 135. Okay, so really aggressive in the center.
Yeah, it's a bit over.
Yeah, what were you looking for?
240.
240, yeah, okay, but almost pretty much 240. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm really curious. What's the reason for that really kind of fast, aggressive final pour?
I was trying to lift the fines from the filter.
Okay, sure.
On the last pour. And
so you basically want the fines to, let's say, come up and be on top of the bed, and then the rest goes down. Okay. Just to kind of speed up that final pour, right? Yeah. That's really interesting. That's actually, we haven't seen a lot of people using, let's say, 2 very different pouring techniques in the sense that like we go from slow to aggressive, which I think is really interesting actually. Did we know when this was? Roasting Day. We know that.
April
4th of April, actually. So basically a month?
Yeah.
No, not a month, 20 days. Sorry.
20 days.
Yeah, 20, 22 days-ish, something like that. Is that usually when you brew the coffee?
It depends, I guess. I start around 2 weeks ish, but when it reaches peak, I freeze them. Usually.
Sure. So you have the freezer full of...
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I kind of expected that when I saw the setup, I have to say, which is kind of cool. How do you actually freeze? Do you freeze them in the Weber?
No, just these.
Sure. Yeah. Those we've seen. Let's maybe have a look. Just these. I think anyone online has probably seen these.
And I just label them with stickers and 30.
So at 3:30, we're pretty much done there, right?
Opening the cups.
Awesome. Do you know what kind of roast machine they're roasting on? Difficult question. Yeah, now I'm difficult, but I'm just always curious. When I try like a new roastery, it's always kind of fun to try to know. Real bean. Okay, they're just looking up on Instagram, which is nice. I think this smells really nice, actually.
Gisen?
Gisen. Okay, so Gisen roast machine. Yeah. Cool. Let's you do the. I've actually seen.
Are you?
I've seen this. I've seen this a lot over like social media these days. I never tried it.
It
Two-way cup.
surprisingly works.
It works, yeah. So you drink like from here and from.
Yeah.
You have to tell me how that works. I think we've seen these in competitions as well every once in a while. I've seen this as well. Isn't this the...
Years.
Yeah, that's what it is. So basically you like cups.
I like cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a
As
lot
you
of different
see,
cups.
I like well-designed cups.
You like well-designed cups. And I like because you have everything from, you have the April cup, but you also have MK, Copenhagen, to like really old school or more old school looking stuff to like very kind of, let's say, new star cups. So how should I...
When it's hot, you drink from this side, and when it's colder, you drink from here. And
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the main... Do you know the reason for that?
I'm not 100% sure, but it's more bright on this side, and it's more sweeter on.
Okay, I'm sure someone online has tried this cup, so maybe you guys can share as well. Okay. What do we think?
Well, I like it.
Yeah? But what are like the main flavor notes coming out?
To me, it's more like cherry.
Like a red cherry. It's definitely this kind of red fruit vibe to it. I think, which I really like, it tastes very Kenyan. A lot of the, let's say issue with some of the Kenyan coffees today is that they become quite earthy. That kind of crisp, clean acidity that we found like a few years ago. It's not really there, and it's more like very kind of little bit vegetable, tomato-ish vibe to it. But this, as you say, is more like cherry. It's more kind of ripe fruit, not like stewed fruit, but like ripe and crisp fruit. For me, it's a little bit like red apple vibe to it, not the acidic apple, like a sweeter version of it, like a very ripe apple, which is quite cool. I saw also on the bag, which I really like. They have this. I think is a clean SL28, maybe. At least that's what the bag is saying. And I know Kamamindi is one of the few producers that actually separate varietals, which is also one of the reasons why I think this tastes so good. Because there's not any other varietal mixed into it. Yeah. I'm going to send you the new April mug.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw that. Yeah, no, I did that because I'd be super curious. Because you're obviously really into cups, right? So I'll send that to you.
I was actually wanting that for a minute from April Sol, but they didn't have it on stock.
Yeah. No, but now we have a new one.
I know the one with the
like tall one.
Yeah, the tall one.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know.
No. That's like a new one.
Okay.
I'll show you guys as well, but we'll make sure you get one so you get to try it. Okay, so now it's cold. I should drink from this side. So I kind of prefer drinking from this side.
Me too.
Because it distributes, I think, a little bit better on the palate. But I mean, cool cup, for sure. I really appreciate that people are trying to do like new better cups. I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That's super cool. If you brew this again, would you do any changes, or would you like be really happy with where it is?
I'll just try and not mess up the last pour.
The last pour was like 5 grams extra. I don't think that it's well within range. And I think that actually still, I mean, it tastes good, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, if it didn't taste good, then that last pour would be an issue. But I think now it actually made sense, right? So we did 15 grams of coffee, 240 grams of water. In 3 pours.
3 pours.
You started with how many grams?
40 grams.
40? Yeah. Up
to 140.
Yep.
On the second pour and 240.
And then that last pour is a very aggressive. Like center pour. How quick was that last pour?
I think it was around over 20 grams per second.
Okay. And what would you say, let's say you did the last pour the way like you did the other pours, like slow kind of outside in. What would you think is the main difference taste-wise?
I think it would, for me, it would have a more bland coffee.
Okay.
Less extracted,
Yep.
I should say. I don't know.
So you get like a little bit more vibrancy and like acidity out of the cup with that final aggressive pour, right? Yeah. This is definitely like a vibrant acidic cup, right? So definitely something that is worth testing out, right? Maybe a little bit intense to have 2 kettles at home, but then again, why not, right? It makes, I think it's, to some degree, it also allows you to do some pretty interesting stuff,
but
right?
it's a bit over the top, I feel like.
It is. You also have an EK at home, right? Which is, a little bit unusual, but I think it's really cool.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just trying too hard.
Like you're trying too hard. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I think we can say that regardless of the equipment, you need really good raw material. So like you need a good green coffee, you need a good roast, right? But obviously having really good tools is not a bad thing. Then I think maybe the last question, and an interesting one, which I kind of always tend to ask when we have these kind of, let's say, more advanced setups, is it still fun for you to kind of go out and drink coffee in coffee shops?
Oh, yes. 100%. 100%. Because, I mean, especially when I go different city, I like trying new coffee there. Yeah. It's always fun to try because they have different culture.
Yeah. So. For sure. Do you have any like favorite city coffee-wise that you've been to?
I like going to Japan.
Yep.
Tokyo mainly, but they have also specialty, but like different kisaten. It's more like traditional,
old school,
very dark roasted, with
super slow like cloth brews, and sure, definitely, super cool. I'm gonna actually go to Japan very soon, so I'm gonna try to catch up on some of that as well, right? Awesome. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap it up. And me and him, we're going to see each other in Busan very soon because we're both going to the world of coffee, which is going to be really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for inviting us in. Super cool. Thank you to all of you for watching. As always, it's really helpful if you guys subscribe, comment, share, do all of that. Again, we're building this community of just April Brewer users around the world, right? So it's super fun when you guys kind of interact with each other. And as always, just thank you for watching and thank you for having us, and have a good day. We want to give a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. It's because of you that we are able to continue to make these videos. And we want you all to feel free to always come with suggestions and ideas on the content that you want to see, because we are doing this for you and because of you. Thank you from all of us here at April.